used car deals. Find out more online.
I'm Joe Shannon. Jose Mourinho has dismissed continued speculation of a fallout with Paul Pogba. The Manchester United boss says there's nothing in a seemingly frosty exchange with the midfielder in training this week, which was caught on camera.
I don't care about the cameras. What confrontation? It's not a confrontation. Okay. Do you think it's a confrontation?
Mourinho has warned Pogba that no player is bigger than the club, but says he will play against West Ham. And their manager Manuel Pellegrini admits he does sympathise with Mourinho.
Everyone changes with the years. It cannot be impossible the same person that we are now that we were 15 years ago. But I think that Jose continue being a top manager.
Chelsea boss Maurizio Sarri has tipped Liverpool for the Premier League title ahead of their meeting tomorrow, live on Talk Sports. Sarri thinks Jurgen Klopp's side have reached a top level. Everton have suspended head of academy and recruitment Martin Waldron. It's amid a Premier League investigation into the club over an alleged breach of youth transfer rules. And Europe whitewashed the US in foursomes for the first time in Ryder Cup history to complete a stunning comeback. Trailing 3-1 after the morning session, Europe won all 4 matches in the afternoon to lead 5-3 after day 1. And Ian Poulter thinks it'll be tough for the Americans to take.
From the buzz of the morning round and as strong as their matches kind of turn around there at the end, you'll be disappointed. There's no question about it.
And the Ryder Cup coverage continues this weekend over on TalkSport 2.
On DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM.
Fight Night Live.
George Groves versus Callum Smith on TalkSport, the home of boxing.
This is Fight Night Live on TalkSport, your home for boxing. I'm Adam Catterall, and tonight we are bringing you the World Boxing Super Series Super Middleweight Final for the WBA Super Middleweight Bang and the Ring Magazine World Championship. It's a dust-up in the desert, a rowdy in Saudi. It's George Groves versus Callum Smith.
Can he make the step up now after all this time? I'm sure he believes he can. I hope he can. I still don't think it's going to be enough.
Said it's been frustrating waiting, but the main reason why I entered this tournament was to become a world champion, become the best in the world.
The time has come! The fight starts now! On his court, Eubank caught that big right hand from Groves.
Deep marching forward again as Smith finds the right hook to the head, followed by a hook to the body as well. It's not the steal out of Hoskin, who still says, come on.
And now, Groves tries to go to work. He goes toe-to-toe with Eubank. The big fight for you on TalkSport.
It's a big one tonight. It's live and exclusive on TalkSport. We're expecting ring walks for the main event around about 9 o'clock. Make sure you're with us for that. Before it, we will have the Chris Eubank Jr. fight at approximately 8 o'clock with our illustrious, world-famous commentary team of Glenn McCrory and John Rowland. I'll introduce you to those two in a moment or so. But in the studio with me with all the pre-fight build-up and all the analysis before and after, these two gentlemen need no introduction. If you are kings of the podcast world, you know these two men very, very well indeed. From the Fight Disciples podcast, Nick Peet is alongside me.
Good evening.
And a man that has just announced a world tour with his podcast. It is, of course, the former British and European champion, Spencer Oliver, in the studio. How are you, gentlemen? You well?
Yeah, we're really good, thank you.
Excited.
Can't wait. It is an absolute cracker this evening. It is an absolute ding-dong, and we're looking forward to it this evening, and you'll be able to stick with us all the way through it. I know it's a pay-per-view event on the television, but it's live, free and exclusive here on TalkSport, and we'll be bringing you the full kit and caboodle from Jeddah a little later on in the evening. You ever been to Jeddah, Spencer?
Never been. No, never been invited, unfortunately.
No. I'd have thought you'd have been at the top of the list there for the invites out to Jeddah, out to the Middle East.
Well, I've got to be honest. I was hoping to be out there for the fight, but I'd rather be here with you, Adam.
Absolutely, that's the right answer, my friend. It is the right answer. Nick, we've spoke about this on many occasions regarding the location of this fight, and I suppose for British fight fans, it isn't the ideal situation because these two gentlemen are number 1 and number 2 here in the UK, and we want to see them do it either at the O2 or in the Manchester Arena. Arena, in the Echo Arena. We want to see it here on our shores.
We do, but the whole point of the World Boxing Super Series is that it was the Champions League of Boxing, and it pulled together the best cruiserweights in the world, the best super middleweights in the world. And unfortunately, the only way you make that happen is with money. And this is the outcome of it all. One of these fights to the Middle East, where the money's coming from, and it just so happened it's the super middleweight tonight.
Spencer, from your point of view regarding this tournament, because it is a new one for people that aren't too clued up on boxing, this is the inaugural year. Obviously, they've just announced season 2, which has obviously got us all salivating at the mouth with the weight categories that they are going to be participating in over the next 12 months. But this one is now the conclusion of the super middleweights. What have you has been your opinion on the tournament as a whole?
Well, I've loved the idea of the tournament, if I'm honest, because there's so many titles, so many governing bodies, that this really does determine who's the number one, the best in that weight division. So I think it's been a great series, and it's been a great competition. Really enjoyed it.
Regarding the cruiserweights, Nick, you just touched upon it. Then we did get Alexander Usyk as the undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, and as Spencer just touched upon there, all the governing bodies came together. Politics sometimes can get in the way of making super fights, but it was good to see the WBA, the IBF, the WBC and the WBR ticking everything off and putting all the belts on the line to see a cruiserweight champion crowned.
Yeah, absolutely. And Usyk beat Gasev in fine style, and now he's undisputedly the number one cruiserweight on the planet. We don't quite get that tonight. There is a WBC champion out there. There is a vacant IBF belt out there. Tonight, of course, is just for the WBA Super. But the fact that the Ring magazine have attached their belt to this suggests that it's the top 2 guys in the world. Whoever wins tonight out of Groves and Smith will be undisputed, the number 1 super middleweight on the planet, even though he's not the unified champion.
Now, I know, Spencer, we have spoken about the Lonsdale belt in the past, and it being a beautiful, beautiful belt. But for those that are fans of the Rocky Balboa series, they will know the Ring magazine belt is the Rocky belt. This is the one, isn't it?
Absolutely. The Ring magazine, if you get your hands on the Ring magazine belt, you are undoubtedly the best in that division. I mean, that really does mean something from us as boxers, ex-boxers. I think that's everybody's dream, to get that Rocky belt, to get that Ring magazine belt wrapped around your waist. You know you're the real deal when you get that. And yes, that is on the line for these two. And this is a fascinating fight with these two, because we are going into the unknown. No one really knows what is going to happen in this contest. The $1 million question, is George Groves' shoulder going to be fully recovered? I was amazed at the size of Callum Smith. Nick, I don't know what you thought about this, but Callum Smith looked huge on the scales. Now, George Groves is a big super middleweight, but he sort of towered over George, didn't he?
Yeah, well, let's be honest. This guy's a light heavyweight coming down to super middleweight. He's absolutely massive, and I went up to the gym last week, and he was only 5 pound overweight then. And I think it surprised a lot of people that he was actually weighed in less than George yesterday. But Callum's done it right. He's done it right way, and he's had to be patient, Spencer. He's been a top contender for a world title for 3 years now, and that's why he entered this tournament in the first place. He entered the tournament to become a world champion. Tonight he gets that chance.
Yeah, I think the fascinating thing about this fight is that George Groves is making a 5th defence of his title now in this superweight division, so he's established himself on the world scene. Callum Smith is the guy that's going in that we don't know about. There's been a lot of speculation about, is he ready for this fight at this level? Not looked particularly good in his last 2 contests. This is a massive step up for him, but it's a really intriguing one, and one that I'm really looking forward to.
Would you go along with Spencer that this is the first time that Callum Smith's really been tested, especially on this level?
I think so. I think that, you've got to look through his record and who he's boxed. Rocky Fielding he took out in a round. Rocky Fielding is now WBA champion, so that tells you the extent of his of his caliber. He's he's a top class fighter, and I think that at world level, at real world level, this is the one. George Groves, he feints for those jabs. He hits really hard with either hand. This is a fascinating fight. Now, me as a boxing that I've always been looking forward to for a couple of years now. This has been brewing for a couple of years. We get the chance to see it, but I don't know who's going to win. I really don't. It's one of those fights, until that first bell goes, I've really not got any idea who's going to win this.
That's why it's so good, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's why it's so good, because we're all have different opinions. I know that. I've no doubt John Rowling and Glenn McCrory, when we speak to them in a moment or two, they'll have a different opinion. People listening at home, they'll be going, it's definitely going to be George. It's definitely going to be Callum. That's the beauty of this. It divides his opinions in the pubs tonight where people are going to be watching and listening to TalkSport.
Yeah, definitely, certainly is, and I think that a lot of people can go towards George Groves for just because he's got the experience at the higher level. But Callum Smith has shown us in the past that he can take a fighter out with any single shot, especially those body shots are incredible. And you know, a lot of people will be favouring him for that one. But yeah, it's one that we're looking forward to as fight fans. And do you know what else, Adam, as well? We're getting to the stage now that these fights are being made, you know, through the governing bodies coming together. So we're getting fights in now that weren't made years ago through the politics of boxing. Now these fights are being made. You find not just myself as a boxing pundit, but other boxing pundits all across the board going, I don't know what's going to happen this week. It's a real 50-50 fight. I don't know what's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So even the experts are sitting on the fence. It's like, it's great. It's great that we are finally like getting the fights that we've craved for so many years.
One man that is looking forward to it because he's ringside at this moment in time. He's excited. He's been in Jeddah all week, lapping it up. I'm led to believe that he's been on the Factor 50 and he's looking like a bronze Adonis at this moment in time. It is, of course, Dom McGuinness. Dom, how are you, mate? And what's the atmosphere like in Jeddah tonight?
Firstly, they haven't made a factor strong enough for me to try and brave the weather here. You must be joking. The week's been great, the build-up's been fantastic, and tonight in the arena, let me just try and set the scene for you where we are. We're in the King Abdullah Sports City, so it's a complex. It's a good half hour north of Jeddah. It takes a while to get here in the car, traffic and everything else. It's quite congested. It's a big sprawling city, Jeddah, 4 million people. And up here there's a 62,000 football stadium just to the north of this arena. Now it's an arena, so if you think of, you know, lots of these complexes have got a couple of stadiums together. The indoor arena is next to it, 10,500 inside the arena. So you get to this whole big complex. It's very glitzy, it's very new, it's all very shiny, and the arena itself, as I say, 10,500 seats. It's very compact. It's for indoor sports, but it doesn't actually, when you're in here now looking around, it's a kind of bowl, just a singular bowl all the way around. Very, very compact. It's great for boxing, actually. It's perfect. And not quite full yet, but obviously we've got a bit of a way to go. And it's just interesting looking around because we didn't really know what to expect tonight. Who's going to turn out for this? It's in Jeddah, you know. There's not going to be any really UK fans. I know that obviously Callum Smith brought a few of his mates over and George Groves would have done the same, but really there isn't a contingent from the UK. It's very much locals, a Jeddah crowd. You've got a mix really of men in the traditional dish dash and the flowing robes and the headscarves, a lot of men also in Western clothes, if you like, and then there are quite a few women here as well, particularly around the VIP section. There's some kids as well. It was a bit of a family affair so far. I can just tell you, Prince Nassim Hamed, who's one of the special guests for this event, I saw him yesterday at the weigh-in, pandemonium when he walked in the room. Evander Holyfield, one of the other promoters, if you like, of the event, in the loosest sense of the word, he's in the building as well. Prince Nassim just got in the ring. We just had a fight. A lad from Plymouth, Mohammed Mahmoud, he's just been beaten on points over a 4-rounder against the local man from Jeddah, Zahir Al-Khatani. Prince got in the ring after and spoke in Arabic to the crowd, absolutely wowed them, got out of the ring, and there's a huddle around him now. The cameras flashing. Yes. You know, this fella, he really is the man here. He was saying yesterday that, you know, it's brilliant to be on Arabian soil, an event like this, and I suppose you think back, you know, had Saudi Arabia been more open to this kind of thing, it would have been the kind of place that the Prince would have gone down an absolute storm 20 years ago.
He is, well, he's no longer the Prince, he's the King now, isn't he? He's the King. Dom, thank you so much for that. We'll keep nipping in and out of Jeddah with you this evening as we build up towards the main event. 9 o'clock tonight is when we're expecting George Groves versus Callum Smith. Before it, of course, we'll have the Chris Eubank Jr. fight as well. Live and exclusive here on TalkSport, your home for boxing. Do stick with us because there's more conversation between myself, Spencer and Nick coming next.
Drive on TalkSport in partnership with Sky Sports. Klopp and Pep go head-to-head when Liverpool entertain Man City this Super Sunday. Live and exclusive on Sky Sports Premier League.
Betway's back with 4 to score. What's more, it's free to play. Just pick the first goal scorers in 4 selected matches this weekend for your chance to win 125 grand. It's on every week, and if nobody guesses the first 4 goal scorers, it could roll over and keep rolling until someone wins 250 grand. You could be rolling in it.
Betway, for the love of the game. 18 plus, T's and C's apply. Bet the responsible way.
Hello, I'm here at McDonald's with Hannah, who witnessed a legendary event. Tell us more.
Well, I was in line when I saw them place the most succulent-looking, crispy-coated chicken breast fillet in a bakehouse roll.
Then what happened?
They asked for it with hot and spicy mayo. Sounded tasty.
Tasty stuff indeed.
With your choice of cool mayo, hot and spicy mayo or barbecue sauce, experience the Chicken Legend range at McDonald's. Served from 10:30am, subject to availability, participating restaurants only.
Savvy Katie loves to drive a hard bargain. So when selling a phone, she knew she'd make an average of £50 more on eBay than at major trading companies. Now she can invest all the money she made on the latest smartphone. Very savvy, Katie. Simply snap it, list it, sell it on eBay. Based on the average selling price of unlocked Apple and Samsung devices up to 3 years old, sold as a 7-day auction against select competitors. See ebay.co.uk/make-more for details.
This is the sound of a welcome visitor on a cloudy evening in Great Britain. It's good to know someone's there when you need them. We're with you. So we have over 6,000 engineers, in case you need one. All part of British Gas Home Care boiler cover from £12 a month. That's just 40p a day. And now, enjoy a gift card worth up to £50 when you buy selected home care products online. Search British Gas Home Care. Conditions apply. Offer ends 8th October.
Where are you? Let's be having you.
Delia, I came to watch the game, not listen to it.
Kev, I'm still sorting out how I'm going to watch football this season. You can't rush these decisions.
Who says you can't? You're already on EE. You can stream BT Sport from your phone straight to the telly.
Free-range football? Get in.
Watch BT Sport on the telly from $10 a month. Text SPORT to 150.
£10 a month on eligible pay monthly plans. BT Sport at £5 a month. More on some plans. Other terms apply.
Kickstart your love life at TalkSportSingles.com. It's online dating in a different league. TalkSportSingles.com teams you up with loads of like-minded people in your area already looking for someone like you. It's the perfect match you won't forget. TalkSportSingles.com. Sign up today. You can set up your profile and even browse for compatible local partners all for free. Don't be a spectator. Get a result in the dating game at TalkSportSingles.com. Monthly subscription applicable at activation. TalkSportSingles.com.
Autumn's here, back to school and back to work. And whether you're on the school run or on your drive to work, it's the perfect time to upgrade your car radio to digital. With lots of in-car digital radios and adapters available, it's easy to take all the digital stations you enjoy at home with you on the road. Look for the digital tick on approved products. It means the radio is future ready.
Ask about in-car digital radio at your local car dealer, car audio specialist or Halfords.
Love radio. Go digital.
Groves versus Smith on TalkSport.
You hear so many of the possibilities of the bad stuff. When you get out here, nothing's ever quite as bad. Like, we're in the desert, so it's a bit like being in Vegas. You know? But he said the food's probably better. The food's amazing. The people are lovely. Like our hotel room was great. The facilities have been great. One reserve was at home. I was wondering whether it was going to be empty or was it going to be quiet. But the public workout was noisy. I mean, it's a big commotion here in the press conference. I think it's going to be pretty rowdy and Saudi come Friday night.
Well, there's the strap line, because nobody could think of the name for the fight. Joe said Desert Storm, but rowdy and Saudi. There you go.
Yeah, it might be rowdy and Saudi. It's going to get rowdy. And I had a good look at Smith today. No, not a good look. We'll see him more tomorrow. But he was very gaunt, very slight, very lifeless. You know, big night for him on Friday night. So the analogy I've been using is that it's been a long time coming, you know. And if you're going to stand at the top of the diving board, 10-metre board, and have a look down, the longer you look down, the harder it is to jump, the harder it is to dive. And he's going to have to do a spectacular dive to get past me on Friday night. I don't think he's capable of it. We're in a great place. We're good to go. Raring to go. Can't wait to go out and get the job done.
The dulcet tones of George Groves there. He's in action tonight against Callum Smith. It's for the WBA Super Middleweight Super Championship. Also the Ring Magazine belt's on the line as well, and the Ali Trophy. It's the final of the World Boxing Super Series, live and exclusive here on TalkSport, your home for boxing. I'm Adam Catterall, alongside me, Spencer Oliver and Nick Peets. And Spencer, on George, is it all about his shoulder tonight? Where's that shoulder injury at? The one that he sustained against Eubank Jr.?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the $1 million question. Is the shoulder going to hold out? If the shoulder holds out, then George, for me, starts a slight favourite. But we know, we were just talking off air, me and Nick, and and that is the $1 million question. Is the shoulder going to hold out? We don't know that. George doesn't know that until that first bell rings. I mean, it's different when you're in the gym and you're sparring, because you know the intensity is not in the shots. It's not the same. So I think that George is not going to know that. And will that play on his mind? I mean, these are all the key factors. George is not a guy that has ever lacked confidence. We just heard that. You know, he's a guy that plays psychological games with his opponent. He beats a lot of opponents before they get in the ring. You know, Callum Smith's just been quite reserved in the week and in the build-up. So is George, to be fair. But this is I think that's the main issue. Is George's shoulder going to hold up? Because if it does, we're in for a real fight, a real cracking fight, a real 50-50 fight, and it could come right down to the wire. And it would be a shame to see that shoulder go early and spoil what could be, you know, one of the fights of the year.
And as you rightfully said, the psychological aspect of having an injury like that. I mean, we've spoken on TalkSport on many occasions to footballers that maybe have broken a leg or things like that, and when they get back into the swing of it, they're a little bit reluctant to go for a tackle, they're a little bit reluctant to go 100% because they don't want to get injured again. And this could play on George's mind tonight, Nick. If he's not 100% confident in that shoulder and he's not popping it like he normally pops it, because this guy's got an unbelievable jab. It's one of the best in the business. If he's not using it to 100%, he could be in trouble.
He could be in trouble, and I think he'll get beat if he's not 100%. And I think the other issue to look at is that the amount of money on the table is this is already a fight that's been delayed. It's been pushed back a couple of months. You know, the season 2 of the tournament is about to kick off. It had to happen. This is the last available date. Has he taken it because he didn't want to miss out on the tournament and miss out on a massive payday? Bearing in mind, they could always do a rematch as long as he puts up a good fight, George. So that's my big concern going in right now. But, you know, Callum Smith won't be thinking like that. Callum Smith is here to do a job. He's here. He's fit. He's certainly ready. And I think, don't be surprised if you see Callum Smith try and rough George up a little bit. You know, it's like in a football match. If you know you're playing against a player that's got an ailment, that's got a bit of an injury, then you play on that injury a little bit. I'd probably expect Callum Smith to rough him up a little bit on the inside, maybe give that arm a little bit of a twist, maybe throw a shot at that shoulder and see if it's up to scratch. And we'll soon find out. We'll find out in the first 3 or 4 rounds whether George Groves is fit enough to take on this fight. And as you say, if he is, Spencer hit the nail on the head right there. We could get an absolute cracker on our hands. This is the number 1 and the number 2 seed in the tournament going at it. And incidentally, in the Cruiserweight tournament, we had the same thing. The number 1 seed won. This World Boxing Super Series this season has been sensational. It's debut season, yet we haven't seen a single upset in a single fight. Are we going to get the first upset of the tournament tonight?
Regarding George's age, he's only 30 years of age. I know a lot of people will look at him and think that he's a little bit older than that, because he does look a little bit older, and he's been round the block a bit, hasn't he? Is he what many would describe in the game as an old 30?
I think he's been around a long time, but look at recent performances against Eubank Junior last time out. He put in a first-class performance. You know, he dominated the fight, and a fight that a lot of people thought was 50-50. I actually even called it that Eubank Junior would win that contest. George proved not just me wrong, a lot of people wrong, and he proved that he's still at the top of his game. So, no, I think in boxing years, he's been around a long time, yes, but George Groves lives the life, and that's the secret of any boxer. You know, some people like Tony Bellew, who's now 35 years of age, and Tony is in the form of his life, coming up against Usyk shortly in November. The only reason Tony Bellew's in the form of his life is because he's lived the life. You know, he lives, eats, sleeps, drinks, boxing, and George Groves is the same. He's a very clean living guy, and I think that's so being 30 and having all this experience under his belt, no, it's not affecting him at all. I think he's probably in the form of his life.
Our commentary team tonight for the main event and for the Chris Eubank Jr. fight will be John Rowling and Glenn McCrory, and the gentlemen are joining us right now. Glenn, I'll come to you first. We've just been speaking about, obviously, where George is at age-wise and experience. Do you think experience is going to be a key factor in tonight's battle?
I think it could be. Certainly that's the advantage that George has. He's been there, he's been through some tough times, he's faced defeat, he's been knocked out at the very highest level, but yet he's come back. He's that sort of guy that can take it on the chin quite literally, but come round and regain the world title and get himself back there. That takes an awful lot.
It's a real pleasure
for somebody like George to do. So he's done really well to do that. That's his experience. He's been in tough situations before, and managed to get himself out of that. So that'll put him in good stead against Callum Smith.
Top man, Glenn. Looking forward to the commentary later on of Glenn and John Rowling. We'll get their thoughts as well as we build up towards the Chris Eubank Jr. fight a little later. At the start of the tournament, and Nick knows this, I picked Callum Smith because I didn't know where George Groves' head would be at. He's just become world champion. There's a lot of money on the line. I thought, is he just cashing out? There's a young, hungry stallion there ready to take his mantle. But the fights that I've seen in this tournament so far, Callum's not really been tested. He had a last-minute opponent when he should have fought Bremer in the semi-final. He ended up fighting a young kickboxer that nobody had ever even heard of. And now George has come through 2 fights. Firstly against Cox. Okay, Cox isn't necessarily a super middleweight. He's a super welterweight, but he dispatched him excellently. And in the Eubank Junior fight, I was the same as you, because I was thinking to myself, where is George Groves at this moment in time? And he dealt with Eubank Junior fantastically.
Yeah.
Totally outboxed him.
He totally did, yeah. I mean, this is where I'm at with this Super Series that we've been in. This is how evenly matched this competition has been, and Nick touched on it earlier on. So I've had, when this tournament was announced, I had Callum Smith as the overall favourite. Then I went on to George Groves. Then when the Groves fight was made with Eubanks, I went to Eubanks. I've been jumping around because it's that even, but I think that last performance with Groves against Eubank showed me that he's got it all in his favour. He's got experience in his favour. He's tasted the defeat before. He knows how to come through a crisis. He's been through all these things. And my worry for Callum Smith is that he's not yet. And I think that could be the telling factor. You know, if the shoulder holds out, I think that experience could be the telling factor between these two, because on paper, equally, they are matched. You know, they're dead level. So I think that I'm going for the winner, George Groves to win now, purely on recent form. Yeah. Callum Smith didn't look great last time out. Last time out against, was it Nicky Holskin? That's right. He didn't look. He was susceptible to the right hand. He was getting caught repeatedly with that. He can't afford to do that against George Groves, who we know whacks with either hand. He feints a lot with that jab, drives that right hand in, and so for me, I'm just going to lean towards Groves. But it's been one of those competitions where I really have been jumping around all over the place.
I think, Nick, we had that as well in the cruiserweights, didn't we? At the start of the tournament, we both went, Usyk's going to cruise this. Yeah. And then we saw some of the fantastic performances, mainly from Murat Gassiev. Yeah. And going into that final, we were thinking, we don't know which way is this going to go, because the semi-final is Usyk is he all that? And then Gassiev had put in a wonderful performance, but then in the final, Usyk comes through and puts on one of the best performances of the year so far. Yeah, but then Usyk went to Latvia and fought Breedis and went toe-to-toe with him. We thought, well, if he does that against Gassiev, we're going to get a gun show and Gassiev could win. But then he completely went the other way and put on a boxing masterclass. And that's why I don't want to get too caught up with the most recent opponents with both these guys, with both Callum Smith and Eubank. Yes, Callum Smith had to face a late standing opponent in the semi-final, but that also alters how his preparation going, and how does he motivate himself then to fight, as we've just built him, a kickboxer nobody ever heard of. Whereas George had the benefit of going in against Eubank, who, my God, did he sell that fight. He was on everything, on Good Morning Television, everything, selling the fight, all the eyeballs were on it. But in reality, as it played out, it was like a boxer against a guy who wants to be a fighter with zero background, no amateur experience, and that showed massively in the fight. I just think it's different now. I think every time Callum Smith has been given an opportunity, a title opportunity, he's stepped up to the plate. His knockout ratio is crazy. I don't think we'll see a knockout tonight, don't get me wrong, but he just shines when the moment allows him to. And I think this is what he's been waiting for his entire career. He's been a top contender for 3 years. It's been a travesty how he's missed out on world title fight chance after chance after chance. He's finally got it tonight, and I just can't see it slipping through his grasp. I think Spencer will agree with you, I'm sure. This game's about timing. It's about catching the right pace at the right times. Like right now, everyone's like, James the Gale's the mark man, the super middleweight division. He looks like he's finished. Everybody wants to fight him. I think George Groves, similarly, okay, he was great against Eubank, great performance, but with the shoulder injury, with the amount of time he's had off, how long's he been in the gym, I think timing's everything. And for me, Callum Smith's going up the mountain, and George Groves may be coming down it.
Yeah, for me, I think it's one of those ones. This could be Battle of the Jabs, by the way. This could be the one that sort of dominates the centre of the ring, gets off first with a jab, and then starts letting those punches flow. But yeah, it's just for me.
He's going to change his mind.
I'm not going the other way. I just think that this fight is going to all come down to tactics. Yeah. Who establishes their jab first, and for me, Groves is just holding more experience with that, and he's very good with that, Groves, as well. That little feinting thing, he's very unpredictable.
His jab's unreal. His jab is absolutely unreal. Probably the best jab in the division. but how much confidence he's got in the jab with the bad shoulder.
Sure.
Is the jab going to be at 100%?
Look at this. These two are going to be scrapping themselves in a minute. I've no doubt there'll be a few minds being changed as you're making your way home from work this evening, maybe sticking with TalkSport for the commentary of this fight. We've got the Chris Eubank Jr. fight around about 8 o'clock this evening, and then at 9 o'clock the main event. It's George Groves versus Callum Smith on your home for boxing on TalkSport. We're going to preview the challenger next.
Drive on TalkSport in partnership with Sky Sports. Klopp and Pep go head-to-head when Liverpool entertain Man City this Super Sunday. Live and exclusive on Sky Sports Premier League.
Savvy Katie loves to drive a hard bargain. So when selling a phone, she knew she'd make an average of £50 more on eBay than at major trading companies. Now she can invest all the money she made on the latest smartphone. Very savvy, Katie. Simply snap it, list it, sell it on eBay. Based on the average selling price of unlocked Apple and Samsung devices up to 3 years old. Sold as a 7-day auction against select competitors. See ebay.co.uk/make-more for details.
Catch BT's stellar biggest ever mobile sale before it's gone. If you've got BT broadband at home, we've got exclusive offers for you. Grab a sparkling deal on a range of SIMs, or get quadruple data on some shiny new handsets. And if you order online, you'll get a reward card to treat yourself. To catch our biggest ever mobile sale, you'll need to be quick. It ends 27th of September. Search BT Mobile today. BT, be there.
New customers only. For claim terms, see bt.com/claimmyreward.
At M&S, our Gastropub for One range is now at the new lower price of £4 every day. Made with the best quality ingredients for a truly delicious taste. So now you can enjoy restaurant quality meals at our new lower prices. Only at M&S. Gastropub for One range, selected stores only, subject to availability.
Experience the drama, feel the excitement, and live the beautiful game. Match Day Live on TalkSport in association with the Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass. Every Saturday afternoon, Adrian Durham brings you all the goals as they go in. Match Day Live on TalkSport in association with the Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass. Catch all 10 Sky Sports channels for a one-off payment of just $7.99. Search Now TV Sports Pass. 18 plus terms apply. See nowtv.com.
The football, the big game, this weekend, live, epic drama, or, well, you know, probably a one-all draw if you're lucky. But with the same game multi from Paddy Power, everything about a game becomes more exciting. And you'll get money back as a free bet if one leg of your fourfold same-game multi lets you down. Paddy Power, enough of the nonsense. Applies to pre-match fourfold same-game multi-bets on UK and top European leagues. Max free bet £10 per customer per day. Minimum odds. Exclude shop bets. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Have you lost money after investing your pension? Were you offered guaranteed returns as a result of moving your pension to a SIP? The FCA say thousands of victims have lost their life savings in pension scams. You could be one of them. These scams include forestry schemes, storage pods and overseas property. APJ solicitors are pension mis-selling experts that can help get your money back. APJ manage your entire claim, and it's no win, no fee. Text CLAIM to 60650 for a free consultation. Text CLAIM to 60650.
And this tastes amazing.
It was always your favourite.
You're my favourite. Say when.
How about right now?
Reignite your love life with Viagra Connect. Now available without prescription from your local Lloyd's pharmacy or at lloydspharmacy.com/Viagra Connect. Viagra Connect contains sildenafil for erectile dysfunction in adult men. Subject to suitability, always read the leaflet. Lloyd's Pharmacy. How are you today?
Want to see the world in style? Come and chat to Rachel, the Royal Caribbean Cruise Queen. She'll sort you out with top deck bars in Bermuda or sea view sunbeds in the Med. She might even give you all-inclusive fares or buy one get one half price on selected 2019 sailings. And unless you've got half an hour, don't ask her about the West End style shows. TUI has expert cruise advisors like Rachel in store to help you book your perfect trip. Visit your local TUI holiday store today. Book by the 5th of November. T's and C's apply at or protected.
Rod Stewart returns with the album you've been waiting for, Blood Red Roses. Rod Stewart's Blood Red Roses, the new album, out now.
I think we should go back out to Jeddah just to have a quick chat with Dom regarding that. Obviously, you spent a lot of time with him this week, Dom. You know him quite well, obviously, from Gallagher's gym. This is a big night for him. You've looked into his eyes. I mean, people can talk the talk, mate, but do you believe tonight that he can walk the walk?
Yeah, he's not really changed at all week either. You know, as it gets closer to fight night, normally you think, oh, you stay away from a fighter. You're not going to engage in conversation, leave him alone. You know, they're making weight, they're anxious about the fight. There's all sorts of mental things going on. You know, they're away from home. It's just all kind of things can play in a fighter's mind. Callum, oh my word, he hasn't got a care in the world. And you know, he went through the press conference. You know, it's just one of them formalities to get the box ticked and get out of there. The weigh-in, came in smiling. You know, he'd had his breakfast. You know, he's not struggled. And again, obviously, we know that, you know, with George trying to make out that Callum was looking drained. Well, yesterday at the weigh-in, obviously George was the one that you looked at and thought, has that been a struggle? He came in with the sunglasses on. Yes. You know, body-wise, you just thought, has that been a real ordeal? They were a bit, you know, the Smith team turned up a lot earlier than the Groves team. And again, Callum came in, did the check weight, then was laughing with his brothers and the usual kind of scene. So if ever there was a time for Callum to get the belts that are on offer tonight, the Ring magazine and obviously that WBA Super, you feel it is now. He's 28 years of age, he's a couple of years younger than George. There's far fewer miles on the clock. He hasn't had the defining nights that George has had. George has had 8 world title fights. It's the 4th time of asking he became a champion. This is the first opportunity that Callum's had to get the world title after, as you've already spoken about, a very long protracted process. You just do feel that he's ready, and he's very happy. And this week, he said to me as well, you know, obviously coming out here last Thursday, so he's been, by the time he goes home, he would have been here, you know, nearly 9 days. He's acclimatised. He said, and I said, well, you know, has it been strange or anything? You know, obviously been away. It's a bit of a crazy place, I suppose, for us to get our heads around being out here. And he said, well, the minute my brothers turn up and my old man and everything else, then it doesn't matter where I am. Yeah. And that's kind of his attitude. And again, obviously, it won't matter to him. We're in an air-conditioned hall. You could be anywhere now. Obviously, it looks a little bit different. You know, obviously, the people here are dressed slightly differently than many of them. But otherwise, it's a World Boxing Super Series, typical ring, white ropes. He's got the black canvas. It's beautifully lit, and it's going to be the same thing that he expects when he gets in there. It's going to be him and George Groves. So mentally, you look at him, you think, yes, he's ready.
Looking forward to it. Dom, thank you very much. Nick, obviously you spent a lot of time in the Smith camp down the years, following them all the way through the amateurs. For those that don't know, there's 4 of them. They've all been British champions. Some have gone on to world honours, some have gone on to high honours in the European stakes, but they've all fought for world titles before. How much will that hold Callum in good stead? Because he's the youngest out of the brothers. He's not been here yet for himself, but he's been in the changing room. He's walked the walk. He's walked behind his brothers. He's kind of done it himself, really, hasn't he?
Exactly, and he's done it on far bigger stages than this as well. He's been around. You know, Paul went to California, fought Andre Ward. Beefy went to Arlington, Texas, fought Canelo in front of 80,000, whatever it was. He's been in the dressing rooms at these massive events. He knows what world title fights feel like, taste like, smell like, and he's wanted to get there himself. And throughout their entire journey of the 4 brothers, and I've been lucky enough to know them since they were all schoolboys, Callum was always the one. Callum was always the best one. That was every comment, every article I ever wrote, every interview I ever done, it was always wait until Callum gets there, wait until Callum emerges. And I truly believe it's all roads have been kind of leading towards tonight. I'm with Dom. I think timing is everything. I think he's ready. For me, he looked sensational on the scales yesterday, and I thought George looked a little bit tired on the scales too. And listen, at this level, it's literally, it's inches, you know, it's the smallest possible things, and a happy fighter's a dangerous fighter, and Callum Smith has been walking around Saudi Arabia all week, smiling from ear to ear.
He's the same height, Spencer, as Tony Bellew, and he makes 12 stone. How?
I don't know how he makes that, because looking at him on the scales, I've already highlighted this before, George Groves is a big super middleweight. And he towered over George Groves. Not only did he tower over George Groves, but his body looked cut, it looked tuned, it looked sensational, if I'm honest. I've got to be honest, it's like if there is ever a time, and I think that this is the time that he's sort of, you know, been focusing on his whole career, and he has been around it, and you're right, Nick. This is a great opportunity for him against a great champion, and I will say that. I will, you know, underline that, highlight that. George Groves is a great champion. Yeah, it's a difficult one, boys. I'm really,
we're going to turn him, aren't we? I'm going to turn Spencer Begg before this fight starts. I'm going to turn him.
You're only not going to turn me because I refuse to be turned. Like, in my mind, it's going all over the place. Because look, I said to you, as the tournament started, Callum Smith was my #1 pick. He was the guy that I picked, and as it's just sort of unfolded, I've just got sort of gone back to George Groves, but that's what's so fantasizing about this fight. It's like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. It's just, it's a real pick 'em. It's a difficult one.
It really is. And we were up at the gym. Callum's gym this was a couple of weeks ago, and regarding the weight, because a lot is made of it, because he is 6'3", he's a big old boy, but he does manage to get down to 12 stone. So people genuinely, you would automatically think, oh, he's tight there, he struggles at that weight, how does he do that? But he was only £5 over last week, weren't he? You know what I mean?
A week last Monday, he was £5 over, you know, he looked sensational when he was moving around, he was sparring. He looked like he could have made weight within 12 hours, no problem at all. And again, it was just his personality then as well. He was bouncing around the gym, you know. Usually in the final 2 weeks, when you've got that final week of sparring, you go up there and fighters aren't interested. They don't want to talk to media. They don't want to know anything. They're sick of it now. They're sick of the sparring. They're sick of the training. They just want to get to that final fight week where they can taper down and start refueling and start really preparing themselves. But he wasn't like that at all. He was chatty. He was engaging. And Callum's always been the quiet one. He's always been the quiet brother. But I think this time the fire just seems to be lit between his eyes. It seems like all the work that's gone in before. I think people don't appreciate the fact that travelling with his three brothers, going to all these big events, sampling all that, taking all that in, is so valuable. You know, he's not getting here tonight and feeling like he's out of place. He's not suddenly going to go, oh, I'm a headliner in a world title fight. I've never seen this before. He's been there, done it, and he's got the T-shirt. Now he's just got to pull the trigger.
No, absolutely. It's an action-packed night tonight. It's the World Boxing Super Series Super Middleweight final between George Groves and Callum Smith. It's live and exclusive here on TalkSport, your home of boxing. Gordon, who's just tweeted the show, wanting to know if we're covering the Newcastle card in 2 weeks where Lewis Ritten's fighting. Mate, I've just said we're the home of boxing. Of course we are. We're up there in the northeast to watch the main man do his thing for the European strap. But tonight it is all about the World Boxing Super Series, mate. So do stick with us all the way through. We've got the Chris Eubank Jr. fight first, and then the main event will be around 9 o'clock this evening with Glenn McCrory and John Rowland. It's going to be a cracking night. We're going to preview Chris Eubank Jr. next. Don't go anywhere.
Drive on TalkSport in partnership with Sky Sports. Klopp and Pep go head-to-head when Liverpool entertain Man City this Super Sunday. Live and exclusive on Sky Sports Premier League.
This is the sound of our 6,000 engineers. It's good to know someone's there when you need them. We're with you. British Gas Home Care boiler cover starts from £12 a month. That's just 40p a day. You'll get a boiler service and you can contact us 24/7 whenever you need us. Search British Gas Home Care. Conditions apply.
I start with an O. I end with a Y. Second biggest preventable cause of cancer. Did you guess it? Preventable cause of cancer after smoking is obesity. Search Cancer Research UK Obesity for the facts.
Did you know that Godzilla is an official citizen of Japan? Or that Singaporeans are the fastest walkers on the planet? And that in Hong Kong, you can get married at McDonald's. But here's the most amazing thing to know. You can discover Asia from just £379 return with Lufthansa's attractive fares. Book by October 2nd for travel starting from October 23rd. For more offers and full terms and conditions, visit lufthansa.com or speak to your travel agency.
Say yes to the world. Lufthansa.
Savvy Katie loves to drive a hard bargain. So when selling a phone, she knew she'd make an average of £50 more on eBay than at major trading companies. Now she can invest all the money she made on the latest smartphone. Very savvy, Katie. Simply snap it, list it, sell it on eBay. Based on the average selling price of unlocked Apple and Samsung devices up to 3 years old. Sold as a 7-day auction against select competitors. See ebay.co.uk/make-more for details.
Where are you? Let's be having you.
Delia, I came to watch the game, not listen to it.
Kev, I'm still sorting out how I'm going to watch football this season. You can't rush these decisions.
Who says you can't? You're already on EE. You can stream BT Sport from your phone straight to the telly.
Free-range football? Get in.
Watch BT Sport on the telly from $10 a month. Text SPORT to 150.
£10 a month on eligible pay monthly plans. BT Sport at £5 a month. More on some plans. Other terms apply.
Fight Night Live. George Groves versus Callum Smith on TalkSport.
You're listening to Fight Night Live on TalkSport, your home for boxing. There is other sport going on in the world tonight. Alan Biggs is at Sheffield Wednesday versus Leeds. Alan, give us a bit of a preview. What's going on?
Yeah, big Yorkshire derby. It's just underway at Hillsborough. Leeds United still the leaders of the championship, despite their first defeat coming last weekend. Between first place Leeds and Sheffield Wednesday in 10th, there's a little gap of 4 points. So Wednesday fancying closing that gap this evening. The team news all on the home front, because 2 changes Sheffield Wednesday. Jordan Thornley fit again and recalled at the back for Daniel Pudel. Most interesting of all, Fernando Forestieri, clear of a 3-match ban. He's in for the injured Marco Matthias. Leeds, despite that defeat, that shock defeat to Birmingham, Marcelo Bielsa going with an unchanged team. Just in the first couple of minutes, it's Sheffield Wednesday 0, Leeds United 0.
Cheers, Alan. We'll give you updates on that throughout the course of the evening. And Lawrence Moura is at Bristol City versus Aston Villa. Lawrence, team news, please.
Yes, welcome to Ashton Gate. A crowd in excess of 24,000 to watch these two battle it out to get back to winning ways in the Championship. After winning 3 on the spin, the home side hit the skids with defeats on the road to West Brom and Wigan. Jamie McAllister, the assistant manager, said the players were hurt by their performance at the DW Stadium, desperate to put that right tonight. As for Villa, Steve Bruce admits his side aren't quite clicking at the moment. They've won just once in their last 7 Championship games. Headline team news: 3 changes for Bristol City. Ex-Villa centre-back Nathan Baker, O'Dowda and Taylor all come in for Callas, Patson and Jeju, and it's 2 changes from Aston Villa after they lost to Sheffield Wednesday last time out. Nzabi and Bjarnason come in for ex-Bristol City winger Albert Adoma and Al Mohammadi. Kick-off at 8 o'clock here at Ashton Gate for Bristol City against Aston Villa.
Top man Lawrence, thank you very much. You're listening to TalkSport. This is Fight Night Live. Coming up at 9 o'clock this evening, it's the main event between George Groves and Callum Smith for the super middleweight WBA World Championship. Obviously, the Ring Magazine belt is on the line as well for that. And I can see out the corner of my eye that the ring walks are just beginning for the chief support when it comes to the undercard between JJ McDonough, who's making his ring walk at this moment in time, and the one and only Mr. Chris Eubank Jr. Spencer, just a quick one. Eubank Jr. well and truly outclassed in the semi-final against George Groves. Tonight's a big night for him. He's got to get back on the horse, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has. He's got to look back to his best here, and I think JJ McDonough's a perfect opponent to do that. You know, he comes to 20 fights, 16 wins, only 8 of them by KO, but he's good, he's durable, but his sort of style could flatter Chris Eubank Jr. and he's, you know, Eubanks Jr. has to have a big performance here, and I underline that has to have if he wants to establish himself back on the world stage.
Well, I'm led to believe his dad's not with him tonight, because he has not made the trip. So let's just get a little bit of atmosphere from Jeddah just to see this ring walk as he makes his way to the ring. The infamous Dr. Dre Snoop Dogg track as they're ringing round the King Abdullah Stadium out in Jeddah. He looks cool as always. That's what Chris Eubank Jr. does do. He plays the game, doesn't he? He walks the walk. Tonight's a big night for him, Nick, because we were there in Manchester when George Groves totally outclassed him and maybe threw a few questions up regarding Chris Eubank Jr. as to where he stands in boxing. Is he really a super middleweight?
Well, exactly, and you know what? Probably the best thing that's happened is his father's not with him. You know, I think that was a big factor against him in George Groves' fight. He didn't have anyone in the corner talking seriously to him, telling him about his tactics, telling him he was behind in the fight. You know, even at the end of the fight against George Groves, he put his arms in the air like he'd won. You know, there was no way he came close to winning that fight. So could be a bit of a blessing in disguise. But Spencer's right. This guy's made for him. He needs a big performance. Listen, there's a lot of talk about Eubank versus James DeGale about to happen in December. And it does not happen unless Eubank shines tonight.
Well, let's get the official announcements of these two fighters before I hand over to our illustrious commentary team. Mr. Diamante, the man with the dreadlocks, is in the ring at this moment.
From ringside, Jürgen Bilhard, Alexander Plumans, and Holger Wyman. At the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring will be Jörg Milka. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears black and silver. This southpaw weighed in at 74.9 kilos. His professional record, 16 victories against 4 defeats. He has 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Mullingar, Westmead, Ireland. He is the former BUI Irish national champion and former WBA international light heavyweight champion. Introducing JJ Mighty Quinn McDonough. opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the green with silver. He's scaled at already 76.2 kilos. His professional record, an excellent one. 26 victories, only 2 defeats. He has 20 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former British, Commonwealth, and European champion and former IBO super middleweight champion of the world, fighting out of Brighton, Sussex, England, introducing Chris Next Gen Eubank Jr.
Always throws me when he announces them twice, the ring announcer. The main event tonight is at 9 o'clock. It's a super middleweight World Boxing Super Series final between George Groves and Callum Smith. We've got live and exclusive commentary of that. But right now, it's the main support on the undercard, featuring Chris Eubank Jr. Calling you all the way through it, it's Glenn McCrory and John Rawling.
Thank you very much indeed, and good evening to you wherever you may be. Chris Eubank, as you heard, slightly the heavier man in there against J.J. McDonough, 32-year-old Irishman from Mullingar. And for Chris Eubank, an important night. Sure that he was outclassed. I mean, certainly on one of those cards, he was only 2 points behind against George Groves, but he was clearly beaten, I'll grant you that. And it's a confidence thing as much as anything.
It really is, and he was comprehensively beaten, in my opinion. He came in, he was rough, he was strong, he was tough, he answered a lot of questions, but he was just missing a game plan. And let's hope they've worked on that now, and he knows exactly what he's gonna do in there.
Well, Chris Eubank Senior not in the corner tonight. Ronnie Davis, who of course was the guiding light for Chris all those years ago. He's there, 72 years young now, Ronnie, and still looking in pretty good shape himself. Not looking very different to when he was coaching Chris. I suppose that helps to look a little bit older than you were when you're 40 odd, and then when you're 70 odd, everybody says, "Boy, you look good." Anyway, the action underway. Minute gone in this opening round, and McDonough trying to tee up a big left hand, came short of the target. Eubank right hand over the top, also short of the target. McDonough standing about 6'2", Eubank just shy of 6 foot, so a reach advantage for McDonough, and the southpaw style as well. Midway stage of a quiet opening round so far. The two guys just really feeling each other out in these opening stages of this. Punches towards the body, McDonough. Right hand leads to southpaw with the reach advantage, and found his way through. Aims at the body once again. Eubank, he had it. Oh, he's caught. He's caught. And he's gone down. McDonough down in the very first round. It was a counter punch as he lunged forward, and he was caught pretty flush. Now is he going to be able to continue? We've got a minute to go in this opening round. See exactly what it was that he caught him with, Glenn?
I think it was just a short little left hand. It was just, he lunged forward in front of us, and a nice short little shot landed, and he went down very heavily.
Well, he's back up now, and Eubank only just missing with a big left hook, and you heard the oohs and ahs from the crowd in Jeddah, who are gathered at the King Abdullah Sports City. Set out for 10,000. There's a lot of empty seats at the moment. That's a good right hand into the body from Eubank. Referee has to split them. Jorge Milka. And closing stages of the opening round then. 15 seconds to go now. And it looks as though McDonough's going to see his way through to the bell to end this opening period. And to be fair, he has seemingly regrouped quite well from that knockdown. Luminaries at ringside tonight, including Evander Holyfield, Nazim Hamed, and a lot of acknowledgement from McDonough to Eubank. And he goes back to his corner now, and he looks as though he's recovered pretty well.
He did recover pretty well. It was a flash knockdown. He went down fairly heavy from that. And Eubank started very composed, nice and relaxed. He just kept up the outside, and it was a short little shot, just a little left hook on the top of the head that sent him over, and he went over it was a really big shot, but it was just a clipping left hand. But the reaction from McDonough was quite bad, really, and that just shows that the punch power is there from Chris Eubank Jr. And he didn't do a great deal else, didn't waste any punches at all. Threw good jabs, nice and poised, and when he needed to, he landed the shot that counted.
Well, it's a nice opening for Eubank Jr. as we move into the second round of this 10-round super middleweight principal support bout to the WBA Super World Super Middleweight title fight coming up later. George Groves against Callum Smith. The final of this tremendous tournament, which has enthralled us over the months running up to this, and who's going to emerge victorious tonight. Incidentally, don't get a lot of betting in the Middle East, but George Groves back home has been installed as the 11th to 8th on favourite, and still bravely coming forward, McDonough, and Eubank just getting a little bit caught up with his own feet. I think he might have tripped over momentarily one of the advertising triangles at ringside.
I'll get banned if I do it, so I'm not doing it. You can hear it in the background on the telly. I'll probably get banned anyway. I got banned for 3 months the last time.
Emerged victorious tonight. Incidentally, don't get a lot of betting in the Middle East, but George Groves back home has been installed as the 11th to 8th on favourite, and still bravely coming forward, McDonough, and Eubank just getting a little bit caught up with his own feet. I think he might have tripped over momentarily one of the advertising triangles at ringside. But he's back now on the far side of the ring from the commentary position, and McDonough catches him with a right hand, but Eubank takes it well, and then a solid straight right hand from McDonough does register. Eubank slips inside it and turns his man in quite an adept manner. So it would have been a 10-8 round, that opening round, to Eubank. McDonough has recovered well from that flash knockdown, trying to lead off behind that right hand lead. That's a left hook into the body, no great power in it, and then a right aim towards the head of Eubank. He's boxing quite nicely, McDonough. One other stoppage defeat on his record was early in his career against Tommy Tolan, the Dubliner. Forward he comes again, and he takes a solid right hand from Eubank, who then follows on with a left hook to the body and a right, trying to throw a right hook aimed at the jaw of McDonough, who just about managed to partially block it, so no great power in that shot, and was aware of it anyway, saw it coming. Jab from Eubank, taken on the gloves. McDonough trying to keep a tight guard, doesn't want to get caught again. It was the left hand from Eubank that did the damage in the opening period as we move into the final minute of this second round. Jab from McDonough, taken on the gloves, and then he aims a left to the body. And was it low? Yes, it was. The referee tells him to keep his punches up, and a few oohs and ahs from the crowd. Left hand from Eubank, just pawing towards the face of McDonough. There's one constant criticism of Eubank, is that he doesn't establish the jab as well as he should. Now he does get through with a jab, and arguably he's looking for the hook a little bit too much, and that's been a criticism of him. Ronnie Davis in the corner, keeping a stern watch over him. And then left into the body from McDonough, who's had a very much better round in the second than he did in the first. That's another solid left hand into the body of Eubank. And there's not a lot between them here. McDonough giving, to my way of looking at it, at this stage in the second round, as good as he gets. Eubank not dominating the Irishman, perhaps as you would have expected. Bell goes to end the second. Here's Glenn McCrory.
Yeah, maybe not dominating, but certainly on my card he was winning it. The cleaner boxing, the punches that are landing off from Eubank. And I think what he's seeing in there is he's seeing a very strong, physically strong McDonough. And he's just biding his time. He's just letting McDonough lunge and throw these big punches, catching them on the arms as he does so, just to take a little bit of that early strength out of his opponent. So he's playing a little bit of a waiting game, but still managing to pick up the punches, certainly the jab, much better at long range. So it's a thoughtful performance, which I'm enjoying from Chris Eubank. He normally just meets fire with fire and pulls himself forward, but this time he's thinking about it, and he's doing well. 2 out of 2 for Chris Eubank Jr.
Long reach has McDonough and the southpaw, so setting questions and setting problems that Eubank maybe doesn't face too often. Solid right hand from McDonough, clipping Eubank. Came in over the top of Eubank's orthodox left-hand lead. He's been told, I'm sure, by Ronnie Davis, let's see you throw that jab a bit better, because that's going to help you cope with this reach advantage more. And only just on target with a left-hand lead. It was a jab which turned into more of a hook. Then throws a right hand taken on the arms, or maybe the gloves by McDonough, who tries to throw his own jab, and then good solid right hand counter from Eubank, and right into the body. It was just on balance slightly, and McDonough almost captured it. A wild left hook from Eubank, and the referee shouting stop, stop to Eubank, which is all very well, but if he really wants to partner, he should have been in there to actually physically call the break, rather than just shouting stop, stop. But the action underway once again. Right hand and the left hand from McDonough. Not too many boxing journalists have made it across to follow this one. A lot of them, I'm sure, back home will be watching it on television, on pay-per-view, or maybe listening to the radio. Sad news today, one of the most eminent of boxing journalists passed away last night. Jim Lawton, tremendous writer and much respected within the business, and he's commentated on boxing for decades now and will be very much missed, passing away last night at the age of 75. Good jab from Eubank taken, and now there's a clinch, and the referee has to split them once again, and again asks them to separate with a shout rather than physically coming between them. Eubank catches McDonough with a left hand as he ducks low, trying to aim a shot towards the body of the Brighton man, who's now 29 years old. You still think of Chris Eubank as a relatively young fighter, but he's been around a while now, you know, and if he is going to move on a level, then he's going to have to do so soon. Catches a right hand, McDonough, and Eubank's coming on strong now, trying to load up on those hooks, and he caught McDonough with a solid right hand, and the Irishman takes it well. Gloves down low now. Now he gets them back up and sets himself again as Eubank doubles up on the jab. Nice work and good footwork as well from Eubank. He's showing perhaps better balance than he did at times against George Groves. The biggest single difference between Eubank and Groves in that fight for me was the straight punches of Groves. Groves able to jab so much more effectively than Eubank did. Closing stages of the third round. It's going to be another round, this one, to Eubank, and he's blocking them up. If you agree with that, Ben?
That's another round for Chris Eubank Jr. Looking good. He's started to unload some punches there. We just hear Ronnie Davis saying, break him down to the body, and bit by bit they are taking it out of the crude McDonough. He's strong, wild, but very, very crude in there, and I think that's making Chris Eubank look quite good, quite stylish. He's enjoying it in there because McDonough pretty much telegraphing everything he throws, and Eubank getting the opportunity to unload with some good punches in close.
I wonder if Chris Senior has taken on board a little bit of the criticism, and maybe thinking that Ronnie Davis needs to have a more forward role in that corner.
Could well be. I mean, you would expect him to be here, but obviously, you know, maybe it's the right thing just to take a little backward step.
It's all over. It's all over. He's been retired, McDonough. The fight's over after 3 rounds. He's had enough, and Eubank gets the victory. And in the end, well, you could argue a little bit unsatisfactory, but he thoroughly outboxed him, Glenn.
Yeah, I think that was always going to be the outcome. Kaz Evans, the manager of JJ McDonough, obviously thought that was enough. It was Eubank who was starting to come on top, starting to look very, very dangerous. And we saw in the first round how dangerous he could be when
You can hear what the crowd make of it, Glenn. They wanted to see more. They wanted to see more bangs for their bucks.
Well, I can't blame them. McDonough, you know, I mean, I'm sure we'll hear in a minute that he's got some injury of some sort. But, you know, for me, it looked like they thought better of it. He was on a high to nothing, and, you know, probably going to get knocked out. And the corner thought better of it, but, you know, the crowd paid to see a fight.
Yeah, it was unsatisfactory. Unsatisfactory, that, and you could perhaps hear Chris Eubank just about in the background. I think our ringside microphone maybe just about picks it up, Glenn. He's disappointed that he's not picked up a few more rounds.
Yeah, he would be. I think he'd be disappointed that he never got the chance to show what he can do against an opponent like that. But I think the J.J. McDonough corner knew that as well and decided that enough was enough.
Just goes to show that words can be cheap. JJ tweeted before this to Eubank, "You're a gimmick. Billy Joe Saunders taught you a boxing lesson. George Groves showed you levels. I'm going to finish you." Well, didn't quite work out that way.
No, it's okay talking the talk, but talk's cheap, isn't it? And JJ McDonough let himself down a little bit in there. You know, a bit of fighting pride lacking for me. And I think he's took the easy way out, which, you know, as a fighter, disappoints you a little bit when you've seen so many brave fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the start of round number 4, the red corner retires. Referee Jörg Milka calls a halt to this contest. Your winner by TKO, Chris Next Gen Eubank Jr.
Eubank back as a winner, where from now we will see that frankly was a little bit unsatisfactory.
John, Glenn, thank you very much. Eubank Jr. Picking up a victory out in Jeddah. We're going to pick the bones out of that fight because it's just left a little bit of a sour taste in our mouths, and obviously you just heard there with some of the comments that Glenn was going through. I think we're all in agreement here in the studio, but we'll pick the bones out of it with myself, Spencer Oliver and Nick Peets next on TalkSport.
Drive on TalkSport in partnership with Sky Sports. Klopp and Pep go head-to-head when Liverpool entertain Man City this Super Sunday. Live and exclusive on Sky Sports Premier League.
Yeah, hi. Can I have a white coffee, please?
Maybe you'd like to try today's special, which is a cafe au lait made from Himalayan beans roasted precisely to a temperature of 18.1 degrees Celsius with a 1.5 shot of coffee mixed with 1 splash of fat-free milk, 1 splash of homemade goat milk, a little bit of caramel licorice drizzle, served upside down in a mason jar.
Want a quality cup of coffee without the fuss? Simply made with 100% freshly ground Arabica beans? The McCafe range from McDonald's. Great tasting coffee. Simple.
Savvy Katie loves to drive a hard bargain. So when selling a phone, she knew she'd make an average of £50 more on eBay than at major trading companies. Now she can invest all the money she made on the latest smartphone. Very savvy, Katie. Simply snap it, list it, sell it on eBay. Based on the average selling price of unlocked Apple and Samsung devices up to 3 years old. Sold as a 7-day auction against select competitors. See ebay.co.uk/make-more for details.
I start with an O and with a Y. Second biggest preventable cause of cancer. Did you guess it? Preventable cause of cancer after smoking is obesity. Search Cancer Research UK Obesity for the facts.
At M&S, our Gastropub for One range is now at the new lower price of £4 every day, made with the best quality ingredients for a truly delicious taste. So now you can enjoy restaurant quality meals at our new lower prices, only at M&S. Gastropub for One range, selected stores only, subject to availability.
It's a chilly Friday evening and you're dreaming about your next holiday. Not buying a new boiler. We're with you. So all our new boilers come with 2 years interest-free credit, expert installation, and a 5-year British Gas warranty. Say goodbye Glasgow and hello dream destination. Search British Gas new boiler. Credit subject to status, conditions apply.
Listen to the warm-up and hear TalkSport's pundits' tasty selections of the players who think they will deliver a piping hot performance. Grab a slice of the action every weekend on the warm-up on TalkSport. Sponsored by Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza.
Betway's back with 4 to score. What's more, it's free to play. Just pick the first goal scorers in 4 selected matches this weekend for your chance to win 125 grand. It's on every week, and if nobody guesses the first 4 goal scorers, it could roll over and keep rolling until someone wins 250 grand. You could be rolling in it.
Betway, for the love of the game. 18 plus, T's and C's apply. Bet the responsible way.
Discover the world like never before with Times Expert Traveller. Go off the beaten track, see something spectacular, or learn a new skill with unforgettable holidays you won't find anywhere else. Experience unique trips that combine the knowledge of our travel writers with your passions. Search Times Expert Traveller.
Right now at Homebase, we've got 20% off all wallpaper. Visit in-store and online. Homebase, always your home, always low prices. Excludes clearance outlets.
Power sanders, air compressors, angle grinders, combi hammers. You fit a lot into your van. That's why we fit a lot into our van insurance, like £500 tool cover, a claims line open 24/7, and cover that starts from just £203. Get a quote today, direct from aviva.co.uk.
10% of customers pay £203 or less
See
for
you on the other
standard
side.
comprehensive cover, February to April 2018. Priced individually, tool cover included in comprehensive cover only.
Hit the bullseye this